Reality feels solid, predictable, and trustworthy until you start questioning it. If all we know is filtered through perception, then what guarantees anything objectively exists beyond our subjective experience? This question has puzzled philosophers, scientists, and late-night existentialists alike. We rely on our senses to interpret the world, but our senses can be tricked. Optical illusions, dreams, and virtual reality all remind us that what we see, hear, and feel might not be an accurate representation of an objective reality. The mind constructs its version of reality based on limited data. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? That question alone exposes the gap between perception and existence. Science attempts to define reality through measurable, repeatable observations, but even measurements require instruments, which then must be interpreted by human minds. If every interpretation is subjective, can anything ever be truly objective? The theory of relativity shows that time itself is relative to the observer's frame of reference. Quantum mechanics complicates things further, suggesting that observation influences reality at the smallest levels. If an electron's state depends on whether it's being observed, does reality exist independently of perception? Despite these philosophical challenges, objectivity is necessary for functionality. Society operates on shared experiences and agreed-upon facts. The chair you sit on exists whether or not you perceive it, because it interacts with the physical world in a consistent way. However, our understanding of that chair is shaped by our perception. A colorblind person sees it differently from someone with full color vision. An ant experiences it as a vast terrain. The chair exists, but its nature depends on the observer. Mathematics offers a glimpse into a form of reality that may be independent of human perception. 2 plus 2 equals 4, regardless of subjective experience. Mathematical laws appear to govern the universe consistently, from the behavior of galaxies to the structure of atoms. But even math is a human-constructed language describing patterns we observe. Are these patterns an inherent truth of the universe, or just the way our minds make sense of chaos? Language further complicates objectivity. Words are symbols that describe concepts, but those concepts are tied to perception. The word blue means nothing to someone who has never seen color. If all communication is filtered through subjective understanding, then truth itself is always slightly out of reach. Artificial intelligence and machine learning offer an interesting twist. Computers process data without emotion or human bias, yet they still rely on input given by people. Could AI eventually reach a level where it perceives an objective reality beyond human subjectivity? Or will it always be limited by the parameters set by human programmers? Ultimately, while subjectivity shapes individual experience, reality persists beyond personal perception. The universe existed before humans, and it will continue long after. However, proving this without relying on human perception is nearly impossible. Our senses, instruments, and languages all filter reality through subjective experience. Objectivity may exist, but we can only approach it through shared patterns, mathematical consistency, and scientific inquiry. Even then, we must acknowledge the limits of our perception and the possibility that reality is something far beyond what we can ever truly grasp.